Moving now to the lower house, and the House of Representatives is pushing through with its charter change initiative, with the panel approving the resolution for a constitutional convention. We speak now with Representative Ron Salo. Congressman, thank you so much for joining us. Why is there a need for amendments to the Constitution through a constitutional convention?
Yes, there are three ways by which we can amend the Constitution, Rico. First is through initiative, people's initiative. Second is through constituent assemblies. And third is through constitutional convention. In a initiative, people's initiative, this is limited only to amendments of the Constitution, not the revision. But when it comes to constituent assembly, the concern raised by most people is the fact that the same people who are elected now will be sitting as members of the Constituent Assembly. This means to say that we, the elected officials coming from the House of Representatives, as well as the Senate, will be the very people who will propose the amendments of the Constitution. So there is that concern that we may be having some conflict of interest there.
So
but of course,
is there really a need?
Convention wherein
Congressman,
we will be electing our representatives to this particular
Congressman,
convention, or the delegates who will be representing us to this particular convention.
Congressman, I'd like to jump in. Why is there really a need to amend the Constitution? I mean, we've already liberalized key economic laws to further attract foreign investments. You have the Foreign Investments Act, the Public Services Act, and the Retail Liberalization Law. They've all been amended. Why do we still have to open up the Constitution to change these economic provisions?
From my point of view, Rico, these are not enough because, of course, there are limitations provided for under the Constitution. As chairperson of the Committee on Overseas Workers Affairs, I really believe that it is high time for us to really amend the Constitution in order for us to give more opportunities for our people, particularly those who are going out of the country just to seek greener pastures. Every day we hear of people being abused, particularly our OFWs. And this is specifically the reason why I myself is the one also calling and supporting moves to amend the Constitution to make it more liberalized, to ensure that more capital will come into the Philippines to create more opportunities, employment opportunities for us.
But a lot of critics are saying, Congressman, opening up the Constitution to amendments also means potential tampering in term limits and proliferation of political dynasties in the country. And changing the Constitution, amending it for economic reforms is just a mirage.
This is precisely the reason why I myself is pushing for a constitutional convention, Rico. The reason being to make sure that we will be electing whoever are the people whom we want to represent us in the convention, who will be the members of that delegate, who will propose amendments. It's not us. So basically, people whom we think will be more qualified to propose amendments to the Constitution, we will be electing them into this particular convention.
But some critics are also saying, Congressman, why go through the effort of changing the Constitution to remove economic restrictions on foreign direct investments when the country can just send the president abroad to get foreign direct investments? He has already been able to accumulate investment pledges of $63 billion, or more than 3 trillion pesos.
Yes, we really commend the president for that, for the opportunities, the investments that are coming in with his trips abroad. But definitely, the way I looked at it, Rico, we would be getting more if the economic provisions of the Constitution are more liberalized. This is how we see it. And for one, as I mentioned a while ago, as chairperson of the Committee on Overseas Workers Affairs, during the time when I sat down in the hearing, one of the representatives, or a person, an OFW in Singapore, was also really very supportive of our move, in as much as he saw, he experienced it by himself, the way Singapore and Malaysia has been growing leaps and bounds because their economies are more open for capital, for foreign capital, compared to the Philippines. And this is basically the clamor of most of the OFWs, for them to be given opportunities to come back, because, of course, we hear more often than not that the income that their earning is small, but at the same time, the fact that their risks, their lives is very high. So how can we better protect our people if not to let them come home, hopefully, if there are more opportunities locally?
Thank you so much for your insights on amending the Constitution through a constitutional convention, Representative Ron Salo.